Welcome to another edition of UND Sports Extra. I'm Alex Heinert. Last week was moving week in Big Sky basketball with a number of top teams going head-to-head on both the men's and women's side. But for UND, after two big wins the week previous against Northern Colorado had both the men and women at the top or near the top of the conference standings, North Dakota was content to stay right where they were. That quest for the 10-1 UND women began in Cheney on Thursday against a surging Eastern Washington side that had lost just twice at home all season. The Eagles led by 3 after the first quarter, but a 14-0 run for the visitors early in the seconds helped propel UND to the front. The Eagles would hang tough, erasing a 3-point halftime deficit to pull back ahead in the third, but North Dakota would regain the lead for good with 15 minutes remaining after a pair of baskets from Samantha Roscoe. The senior from Perth, Australia would go for 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and her efforts combined with 19 from Michaela Dyer and 43 points from the UND bench would be enough to give the Fighting Hawks the 75-71 victory. North Dakota was able to overcome 21 turnovers, which led to 26 points for Eastern Washington by winning the rebounding battle 35-30 and holding the Eagles to just 2 of 12 shooting from behind the arc. The win helped the Hawks improve to 7-2 in games decided by 5 points or less. Up next for the co-league leaders, a trip to the Cowan Spectrum in Moscow, Idaho, one of only 2 Big Sky facilities UND had never earned a victory in, and the defending Big Sky Tournament champion Vandals would keep it that way on Saturday. The hosts would lead by 11 at the half and stretch their advantage to as many as 24 in the fourth quarter on the strength of a game-high 27 points from Michaela Ferentz. Despite a late push that included several threes from Bailey Strand, North Dakota's 7-game winning streak would come to an end by a final of 74-61. UND would be led by Strand with 12 points on 4 of 5 shooting from 3, as well as a career-high 11 points from Grace Sawatsky, but the Hawks would be out-rebounded by 13 in this one and only shoot 34% from the field in defeat. The loss puts UND at 16-8 overall and 11-2 in conference play, keeping them tied with Northern Colorado and Montana State for the top spot in the conference standings. The UND men also had 2 games against Big Sky contenders this weekend, beginning Thursday against fellow 8-3 Eastern Washington. The team tied with the Fighting Hawks in second place in the conference standings. North Dakota would come out firing in this one, opening up a 17-point lead thanks to 21 first-half points from Quentin Hooker on 7 of 11 shooting. EWU would cut the lead to 8 at the half and eventually pull in front for the first and only time in this contest with 15 minutes to go, only for UND to respond with a 12-2 run aided by 4 of Cortez Seales' season-high 21 points. Despite a 33-10 effort from reigning National Player of the Week Jacob Wiley, the hosts would keep Eastern at arm's length for the rest of the second half to earn the 95-86 victory and take over sole possession of second place in the Big Sky. Hooker would go for a season-high 35, while Gino Crandall and Connor Avance would join Q and Seales in double figures. UND would shoot 54% from the field, 47% from 3, and hit 28 of 34 free throws in the win. Another stiff test awaited on Saturday in the form of 8-4 Idaho, but the Fighting Hawks would pass it with flying colors right from the start. The hosts would build a 16-point halftime lead and never let it dip below double digits, combining hot shooting and suffocating defense to great effect in what would finish as an 88-65 victory. Gino Crandall would lead all scorers with 22 points and 3 steals on the day. Quentin Hooker would go for 21, and Carson Shanks would post a double-double with 11 and 10 and a career-high 5 blocks in this one. UND would shut down Victor Sanders as well, holding one of the Big Sky's leading offensive threats to just 11 points on 5 of 17 shooting. Sanders the only Idaho player to reach double figures, as the Vandals would hit just 39% of their shots, including a 4 of 19 mark from 3. UND, on the other hand, would go 8 of 16 from distance and finish their 3-game homestand a perfect 3 for 3.
Especially against an Idaho team like that, you don't expect to be up 20 in the first half, but we were just moving the ball. We were playing our butts off on defense, and it just kind of translated to easy buckets and strung some styles together.
We really want to be here right now, and that's what we worked for. You know, we just knew that if we just keep battling in practice and then, getting into our film and everything like that, it'd pay off. And that's what we're doing right now to set up ourselves for that championship position.
So the men's sweep and the women splits. We're going to have a chance to catch up with Brian Jones a little later in the program, but coming up next, we'll sit down with Travis Brewster and hear about the road to Reno for his Fighting Hawks.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
North Dakota women's basketball picked up the road split this weekend, and here to talk about it, the head coach, Travis Brewster. And Coach, I know that you always want to win all these games. I mean, that's just how you're wired and how coaches are wired, of course. Yeah. But at the same time, to go on the road, you play 3 really good opponents these last 2 weeks. Yeah. You take 2 or 3. You got to be pleased at least to come back home with that 66 split.
Well, yeah, obviously you always want, like you said, you want to win. But at the same time, we always talk about splitting on the road at worst case scenario. And getting 2 out of 3, it's nice. But I felt like we left one on the table with that last one. I really did, and the players feel that way. But our practice yesterday was very good. So we got to refocus and move forward.
Yeah, let's start with that game Thursday against Eastern Washington. You started off great, a big 14-0 run midway through that first quarter to get you guys up and rolling. What was the key to that charge early against the Eagles?
Well, it was our defensive effort and intensity. There was attention to detail there. I thought we did a nice job of really controlling their players on the defensive end, and I thought offensively we just moved the ball and executed really well. So it was a cohesive work on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, able to maintain that lead. They would chip away and make this a close game in that second half. 7 different lead changes over the course of this one. You were able to stay in front, it seems, but just couldn't seem to shake them as that game wore on.
Well, they're a good basketball team, and they're a physical team. They're strong. They knocked down shots. They executed well, but I thought we understood we had to knock down some timely shots at the right time, and we did that. And we talked also a lot about, hey, let's get some key stops. And I thought for us, the big thing was with our 3 seniors playing in that game, they all kind of hit their stride a little bit at different times. It was the times that we needed it, just to give us a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, you mentioned those seniors, 19 points from Mikayla Dyer, 19 from Sam Roscoe off the bench. Again, those 2 helping lead that charge. Great bench effort, really, in this one as well. Another example of the depth of this team really coming through.
Well, it's just part of our rotation. You have to be able to have that now playing in 4 quarters. And I really like how our team's playing. I think Grace Swaski's came to life for us a little bit, and how she's been playing. Mikayla, everybody knows she can score, and she's done some nice things with that. But Samantha's done a great job giving us a boost, and I'm just encouraged how we're playing. And obviously we got a lot of work left to do, and we can't just sit back and go, hey, it's over. We got to take care of business this week yet.
Yeah. 75-71 the victory in Cheney on Thursday. Another close win that you guys pull out. So many games this season have come down to a couple of possessions at the ends. Another great example of your team making the plays when they needed to in this one.
Yeah, and I tell the team all the time, it's an opportunity for us, right? And nobody's going to ask you at the end of the season, did you blow somebody out? They're going to ask you your overall record. How did you guys do? And that's it. So those opportunities, when they present themselves, we make the most of them. And I would prefer, obviously, to blow people out and things like that. But I want to keep everybody excited to watch us.
Makes it a little easier, but it does make it a little more entertaining when it is tight like that. Well, from Cheney to Moscow, you go to take on Idaho. This has been a team that has had your number a bit lately, and they would get you again on Saturday, the 3rd straight win for them over you, a 74-61 victory. Just kind of a tough grind of a game for your girls.
Yeah, we weren't very good Friday night in practice. We weren't clicking. It was the road kind of finally caught up to us a little bit, and I thought mentally we broke down a little bit. But you saw during the game it kind of came back, and we battled there. I really felt like the last 7 minutes, as we went through that segment there, I thought we did some nice things. But it's just tough. We've never won in Moscow, Idaho, since turning Division I, and it's unfortunate because I really thought we had the team to do that, but it was just one of those nights.
Yeah, and that happens. And obviously this is a conference that prides itself on being, from top to bottom, a very difficult conference to play in. That's a difficult team who again won the tournament championship the season ago. Like you said, sometimes those nights just happen to your team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'll make sure that we do a better job being prepared. I really think our team understands now that how important it is to have that focus no matter what's going on. And, you know, you can't take anything from Idaho. I mean, they made some shots. You know, they got on great runs. I thought they did a nice job defensively on us, you know, and it frustrated us. But you know, we have to learn from it and move forward.
Yeah, still, again, 11-2 in conference this season, now in a three-way tie for first place with Northern Colorado and with Montana State. Looking ahead now, you get to come back home, which is great. You get two very tough opponents this week. Idaho State, Weber State have combined to win 9 in a row. A couple of good ones coming into the Betty this weekend.
Yeah, you know, Idaho State's always a very competitive ball club, very defensive-minded, very tough. Obviously, Weber State's more of a up-tempo, try to turn you over type of game. So two different styles, but two teams that are playing well right now down the stretch. And, you know, we're really excited about being at home. You know, we're going to need all the help we can get from our fan base, but when you can sleep in your own bed and wake up and come out, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, you've beaten the 5 teams remaining on your schedule. 4 of those wins have come by 6 points or less. Another example of how close these games have been,
Appreciate
Coach.
you pointing that out.
We hope that good luck continues and your girls keep making great plays down the stretch. So best of luck this week, all right?
Thank you.
Travis Brewster. When we come back, we're going to have a chance to catch up on the men's side with Brian Jones. Stick around. Welcome back. Well, the Big Sky challenges have been coming thick and fast for Brian Jones and company, but the UND men's basketball team continues to pass them with flying colors. The head coach here to talk about a pair of wins over Eastern Washington and over Idaho this past week. And Coach, 2 big games against rivals for that top spot in the Big Sky Conference. You get by them both, and with really exciting basketball. A couple of great wins for you this week.
Honestly, I thought it was the best week as far as the energy and focus that we've had all season long. They knew what was at stake. Sometimes when we focus small, our whole focus last week, we have to get better each day. And they really won both games, I felt, in the 3 days of practice that we had. Obviously, you got to take care of business on game day, but their focus and attention to detail in those 3 days of preparation was outstanding.
Yeah, well, it certainly showed right from the start in both of these games, beginning on Thursday against Eastern Washington. A lot of buzz around this game. 2 teams at 8-3, tied for second in the conference. You guys really stepped up right from the start in that first half to set the tone.
Well, we really defended, and we got out and got a big lead because of our defense, and obviously offensively, we got a lot of high percentage shots of sharing the ball, getting paint touches, post touches as well. So to me, as our fans understand us, and even our guys are understanding now, when we are guarding at that level, and you saw on Saturday as well, it's exciting basketball, one, but we're really good on offense because it allows us to get out and do what we do best, and that's play fast, play in the open floor, allow these guys to show their talents individually, but at the same time they do a great job of sharing the basketball and playing unselfishly.
Yeah, that up-tempo game helped you build a 17-point lead in the first half. A lot of credit to Eastern. They would push right back and cut it to 3. What kind of changed over those final 8 or so minutes of that first
Honestly,
half?
foul trouble. Gino Crandall gets off the floor, and some other guys, the front line was in foul trouble, so we had strange lineups. Give them a lot of credit. They have 2 really outstanding players that are just a tough matchup. They're putting those kind of numbers up on everybody in our league, so as coaches, you're always scheming, how can we be different? It's not a lot different because they're just that talented. But I thought our guys on the flip got Bliznik and some of their key guys in foul trouble, which to me in both games, again, Idaho, their key guys got in foul trouble. They stuck with their key guys. We went to our bench, and our bench was outstanding and gave us big minutes.
Yeah, you talk about the bench. Cortez Seales coming off the bench to give you 21 points, a season high. Played great defense as well. One of a number of guys that stepped up because of some of your key players in foul trouble in this one.
And that's been a strength of ours. And it's taken some times. We have some ups and downs with it, but Cortez and Carson Shanks both had great weeks. Josh Collins had a great week, and the things that he does well, and energy and defending. So I feel as we, in the stretch run, it always seems we talk about stretch run, but the last 5 in the conference tournament, that is my hope, is what's going to separate us from some of these teams, because our bench, we trust these kids. They've done it time and time again through foul trouble. Somebody else has stepped up and really given us a big shot in the arm.
Yeah, a huge 95-86 win over an Eastern team that was streaking coming in. You take over sole possession of second place. The work not done, though, certainly. Idaho came in at 8-4 on Saturday. That really had your number recently, swept you last year, a couple of really close games. This one was not close, though. You really blew it open early on and then maintained that lead throughout.
Again, it was our start. We've talked about when we've been really good is we get out, we take the fight to them, we get out of that first 4-minute game or the first 8 minutes of the game and really set the tone defensively. And I thought that's what we did. Our defense was probably the best as far as an energy, getting into the basketball, forcing contested long jump shots. And then we got rebounds and went out and scored in transition. We had 5 baskets with 27 seconds. We only have a 30-second shot clock. We had 5 scores in the first half with 27 or more. That means 3 seconds and there's something on the rim. So that just shows you defense getting a stop and then us playing fast and playing pressure.
You built a 20-point lead against the Scandal team in the first half. Unlike that Eastern game, though, there really was no opportunity for them to come back. You really stayed on the front foot throughout this one. What were the keys to trying to keep that gap and make this a comfortable victory?
At a halftime, we had to make a few minor tweaks, but it was still about that energy and that focus, staying into the ball, getting into the post, but arriving on the catch. But it was more about their focus. I thought they learned from Thursday night's game, you got to stay the course no matter. These teams are too good offensively, both teams were, to get back in the game. I thought our guys did a great job not allowing Idaho to slow the game down with their zone press, back to zone defense, back to man, keeping you off balance. So again, our bench was great. Carson Shanks was unbelievable. Cortez was really good. And even through some foul trouble with Gino, I thought the rest of the group as a whole just really allowed the game to come to themselves and make it simple. So they knew what was at stake. I thought they defended at a high level, and as I challenged the guys after the game, you are capable of doing this. We got to continue to play at our level. It's not about playing at somebody else's level. It's about playing at our level.
23-point win over the Vandals. You stay in second place right there, a half game back of Weber State. You get the Wildcats now this week on the road. That game is on Saturday, though. A big game coming up in Pocatello on Thursday. Got to take care of one if the other one's going to matter.
You do, and it's Idaho State's always good at home. They played a different pace, a different confidence, which we all do. So no question. Saturday doesn't matter to us right now. It's more about Thursday night. For us to continue to stay the course, to have a chance to win this, all of them matter, all big games.
Yeah, certainly. Well, best of luck taking this day by day. Coach, have safe travels this week. We'll talk to you about it next week. Brian Jones. When we come back, we're going to catch up with Cortez Seales, a great sophomore season happening right now for the UND swingman. Stick around. Welcome back. Well, UND's Cortez Seales has really come into his own in his sophomore season, especially during Big Sky Conference play. The 6'5" swingman from Eldridge, Iowa is averaging over 8 points and 4 rebounds a game and is coming off a strong performance in 2 wins a week ago, averaging 15 and 7. Our Marty Mueller had a chance to sit down with North Dakota's 6th man to get to know him a little better.
We're joined right now by Cortez Seales. Thanks so much for your time today.
No problem.
So tell me a little bit about where you grew up and what basketball was like for you.
I grew up in a place called the Quad Cities. It's like a little in between Iowa and Illinois. Basketball is pretty much like the sport there. So growing up, there was a lot of focus on basketball.
Sure.
So obviously everybody wanted to play. So it was just like a basketball area.
What's it like growing up in a community like that where basketball is king?
From a basketball player, I mean, it's the life, Like everybody knows you because you play basketball. And since the area is not too big, you get to meet a lot of good basketball players. It's small, but there are a lot of good basketball players from where I'm from.
Sure. Tell me about your most memorable basketball moment from when you were growing up.
You mean high school or just in general?
Anytime you were growing up. Doesn't matter.
My most memorable. As you guys can see, I'm not too athletic, crazy athletic, like Josh and Gino and them. So it was probably my junior year in high school.
Okay.
This team that we played, they were running Princeton office, so where they just hold the ball and pass it.
Sure.
And I got a steal and a breakaway. I took 3 dribbles and tried to take off. Oh man, it was like a Sprite commercial. I'll never forget that one.
That's awesome.
I'll never forget that one.
Talk about your path to UND. What kind of brought you here? What was your recruitment like for you?
Obviously, Coach Jones is actually from the same city that I was born in.
Okay.
So yeah, that connection really put it over the edge compared to all the other colleges. We had that home connection.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about playing here then has been so great for you?
I think playing here is it helped me learn a lot. Playing behind guards like Gino and Quentin. You really learn. You get to sit and observe good players. So
for sure.
When it's your time to step up, you should. I should be able to get off to a good start just from learning and watching them.
For sure. Do you have anything you do before a game, maybe a ritual or maybe a pregame meal, anything like that? What's your go-to before a game?
I go to sleep. Yeah. I got to take a nap before a game.
Really? Okay.
Probably take a nap. That's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
You don't have any thing you have to do before you get out on the floor, like tie your shoes a certain way or anything?
No, I usually like to stay in the locker room and just mess around with the guys for a little bit, and then we come out here and get ready.
So there's always music playing.
Always.
Always music.
Always.
What's playing for you?
Ooh,
It's a tough one.
it's a tough one. There's always a lot of music. Probably some old Lil Wayne.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
Cause his album or his mixtape, No Ceilings.
Okay.
Yeah, we play that almost every time we're in the locker room. It's either me or Gino on the aux score, so we just take turns playing music. Yeah. That's one of my favorite mixtapes. I know. Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
No
It's been a
problem.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Marty. Seales and company, of course, hit the road this week for the start of a 3-game road swing. We'll let you know who else is traveling and who's staying closer to Grand Forks after the break.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
Congratulations to Jordan Stevens and UND softball, who are off to their best start to a season in the D1 era after going 4-1 this past weekend at the Louisiana Tech Invitational. The Fighting Hawks, who are the 3rd youngest team in the nation with 16 underclassmen on the roster, will look to continue their hot start this coming weekend in Florida at the Eastern Michigan Madeira Beach Spring Invite. A little closer to home, Midco Sports Network has more live UND basketball this Thursday night as the North Dakota women host Idaho State in another key clash at the top of the Big Sky standings. If you can't make it to the Betty in person, Val Sussex and I will have the call at 7 p.m. from here in Grand Forks. Elsewhere around UND athletics, it's senior weekend at the Ralph for women's hockey as Brian Adolski's crew takes on Ohio State in their last regular season homestand of the year. Track and field is also in Grand Forks for the UND indoor tune-up meet at the High Performance Center, while women's tennis has duels in town on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, we hope you join us live on Thursday night for UND women's basketball and back here again next Tuesday for another edition of UND Sports Extra. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching. Happy Valentine's Day.